Social Kick. Our guest on this one is Ukrainian sprint sensation and world junior champion Nikita Sheremet, who last summer tied the world junior record in the 50 freestyle held by Michael Andrew. Now racing for the University of Louisville, Nikita talks about his journey from Ukraine to escape Ukraine and continue his swim training in Poland, and eventually make his way to the US to race in the NCAA. He tells us what it takes to master the art of sprinting, about his goals for this year in the European Championships in December, as well as the NCAAs in March. This one's all about pure speed. Welcome to Social Kick. I'm Brian Lundquist.
I'm Luke Paddington.
I'm Dr. John Mullen.
I'm Nikita Sheremet, world junior record holder.
What's going on, dude? Man, we got the fastest kid in town. Now a Louisville freshman record holder. Now he's 19.2 in the short course yards pool. Man, you're tearing it up.
Yeah, I am actually not expected this time, but for start of the season, it's actually pretty good.
I'd say that's pretty good. John, what was your best short course yards time again?
20.08, 7, something like that.
Luke, what was your best short course yards time?
21.5 when I was 37 years old.
Okay. And I went 19.1, so I'm the only guy who still has beat him so far, but that's going to go down maybe next week. Oh, dude, you're a different breed. So, Nikita, everybody wants to know about your training, what it takes to develop speed at an early age. And obviously, we had a blast watching you set that world junior record and also in the semifinal, and then also defend it, which is another big skill to be able to do and be kind of cold-blooded in big moments. So kudos to you. That's really fun and exciting for us to see you swim in college too. So thanks for coming over to the U.S.
Yeah,
we'll get to see a lot more. We ask our audience at Social Kick Swim on Instagram and YouTube, and also follow us on Spotify and submit questions there. If you want to see or ask a question that we can read on the show, make sure that you're following there. And we're going to pick from a few different ones. And I'm going to start off with Mr. Cam McEvoy, the world champion, the Olympic champion himself, would love to know from someone like you, what is your 25-meter time? And by the way, it's to a touchpad, an electronic time, no watch times, those don't count. What can you do at 25 meters?
on the short course, I never swim 25 for time on the electronic wall, but maybe now I can swim 9.7, I think.
What was your official split? When you went 21.75 at World Juniors, what was the 25 split? Did you get that metric?
Yeah, I think I remember it's 9.98 for head.
Good. And that's the head, right, John? They only measure that to head?
I believe so. Not positive, but I think they use the head just because that's the only stable or more stable than arms.
Yeah, always to the head. Yeah. What about at NCAAs? What about this year? Do you have a good read yet on what you could go if you did 25 yards to the hand touch, and that was a new NCAA event?
If there was an event, I would prefer for it. So I think this is a good idea for NCAA.
Let's do it. All right. Let's hit a few of these, and I'm going to go first with some outside of the pool stuff. These are still audience questions. This from WTF McCall says, how much do you sleep?
I think it's between 8-9 hours per week. And if it's a recovery Wednesday like today, I can sleep for 10 hours.
Nice. Oh, yeah. So that's the amount of sleep that it takes. All right. This one's from Daria Golovati. How good are you at Fortnite?
Not pretty good, but I'm trying to do my best.
All right. This one's from Nate Thomas Swimming. Says, is short course yards better than long course meters?
For me, now, if I had the best time for long course, for me, it's long course best. But I don't know, I can try to do best in my short course yards.
Well, Luke has some advice for you on how to do that. He's got a bone to pick with 3 breaths and a long course meters 50, my friend. All right. Let's see this. Let's go into this. So what was your thought at World Juniors? The one's from Josu Matute.
It was pretty good. I'm not expecting my time. My goal for World Juniors was like only gold, not time. I prepared for only 53, and when I see the time after heads, like 21.82, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it. It's so fast, and it's in the semifinal when I break World Junior records, like entire World Junior records. It was feeling so amazing. I'm not expecting this time too, but this time was so fast, and I really like it. And in the final, it was like it's racing not for time but for the medal, like my coach said, and I was really nervous because it was my first World Cup final, like a junior, and like I stay like with Jacob Mills, who returned from the World Cup from seniors, Carlos D'Ambrosio, who had a bronze medal in the 200 freestyle, and it was a really stressful race for me.
Yeah.
What do you think you learned then from the stress of that race? Because you got it done in a big moment, but that's something that I never did well, was be able to, channel some of the highest pressure moments that I swam in. Maybe some of them I did okay, but there were certain other moments that, I could just, it's hard to feel the pressure and then to be able to execute in that moment. And to get nervous and learn what works for you to be able to deal with it. So, is there anything that you take away from that, finals session and winning that you go, okay, let me put a pin in that. I need to, address that or figure out how to identify that and calm down or, handle the moment or do something, to address it if you encounter that situation again.
Yeah. In the final, I'm trying to calm down. Yeah, I'm trying to thinking only about race, not about everything. Like I was really focused on my race, how to do best start, reaction start, underwater kicks, actually breath, and I'm trying to not think about who I'm swimming with, like what was on the finish. So. Yeah, trying to cool down.
Nikita, how well do you think you executed your semi and your final? Semi 21.75, world junior record, final 21.99, gold medal, hand to the wall. But how well do you think you executed it? Do you think you made some mistakes? Do you think it hurt more? You think it was good? Do you think, the actual execution after you dealt with the mental pressure of handling the big moment like Brian was referring to? How on reflection, what did you and your coach say about your race?
I think I made, like, for me, I think for 53, I make the biggest mistake is that I miss the start. When I go into the water, my hands were not in streamline, but like that. And it was really slow after start. I was like, maybe 50 centimeters before the Jacob Mills and Carlos D'Ambrosio. And I can say, like, thanks God that I can speed after the first 25. I go crazy speed on the second, and I finished first, yeah. My coach said that before the semifinals, he said, like, you can swim fast, but if you will break the world record junior, I will not be sad. So
good advice.
So you mentioned thinking about the breaths ahead of time, and Brian and Luke were, like I said, commenting on having 3 breaths in the 50. So the plan was to take a breath at the flags or right at the flags in the 50 free?
I usually take 2 breaths. I'm trying to do 1, but for now it's too hard for me. But I don't know actually why I take 3 breaths. But my coach says, like, if this help you to win, you can take
Yep. If you win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what's fun about sprinting is you'll get a chance to, explore where there are opportunities to get better. And it's those like micro decisions about the number of breaths, the number of strokes, and lots of different things in all between. Let's get into a bit of some of these audience wanted to know, of course, about like your training before Louisville, and what led to all of the things that contributed to a world junior record, and so we had a few here. Maybe just say like this one broadly from this one's from Michael Gay. Wanted to know, how do you most efficiently develop power and explosiveness at this age? You're still young. A relatively, I think, like, thin frame. You don't have a lot of bulk and muscle on you. Maybe that's to come at some point, but yet you have a lot of power and explosiveness in the water. So tell us, like, what do you think has led to that at your age? How do you develop strength and power?
I think for me it was helping that I prepared not like a sprinter, but like for 100s, 200s group, because in my club in Poland, we have only like 50 person, and we're swimming together everything, and sometimes we're changing group for 100, 200 and long distance. So I swim 200s, 100s on time, and sometimes of course we swim like practice suit. It's 50 freestyle maybe. But a lot of swim was like 20 times 200s or 1600s. So, yeah.
Man. And you mentioned the training in Poland too. And I'm curious too about like, the path to get there. Originally from Ukraine, still are. I imagine there's some circumstances that led you to be training in Poland. And would love if you had anything to share about like your journey throughout your youth swimming to land in the training places that you've been.
After the war started, I moved to my grandparents in Moldova. I stayed with him like maybe 2 months or 3. Of course, I go to the pool and training like every day. With this club in Moldova, and after this we decided to go to the Norway. My uncle stay in Norway, and I stay in Norway maybe 2 or 3 weeks. But Norway's country too expensive. If you're not working here, you can take the bill for everything. And my mom finally found the room in the Poland. It was so close for the best club in the Warsaw and the Poland, I can say. And we sent a message from the club, so if I can start training with him because I really want. And they said yes. And after this, I fly to Poland and start my journey in Poland. So for 3 years.
Wow.
So you didn't know anybody in Poland. You didn't have any family, any connections. You decided Warsaw was pretty close to where you're from. You reached out, the coach accepted you, and you developed a new life in Poland. Is that true?
Yeah. It was really difficult, like, choice, but we did it with my mom. So yeah.
That's very brave. And now 3 years later, you're starting a new life now in Louisville. How is that transition? Which is the harder transition, going to Poland or going to Louisville?
I think go to Louisville for me because I've stayed single now without anyone, and my family like in another country. Everyone's my mom in Poland, grandfathers like in Moldova, second grandparents in Ukraine. So it's really hard, but I try to keep. So yeah.
So I'm still imagining the Poland coach getting an email like, "Hey, I'm 21-9 long course 50 free. Can I come swim with you?" My wife's a swim coach, and I can tell you that's not the people she has trying out for her teams. They had to be pretty excited to have someone of your caliber coming in.
Yeah, I see.
I don't think it was 21.9 at the time, but still.
Oh, sorry, 22.4 long course. I mean, jeez Louise.
He's 15 years old, 22 point. No problem.
Exactly.
All right, let's keep hitting some of these training questions then. And this may take you into current day here at Louisville, but this one's from Luca Cernia. Wanted to know, how many pull-ups can you do?
20.
Wow.
20?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's the new bar for you, old man Luke.
I know.
All right. This one's from Abdel Rahman Sabri. Wants to know, what do you do in the gym and what do you focus on? And so and actually I'm going to add to this with my own twist, which is like, did you do much gym before you have arrived at Louisville? Or are you still in the progression of, getting into what strength coaching is like, there in your current program? And what do you know about like your body and what you need strength wise? So yeah, maybe like what do you do in the gym now and what are you focusing on?
Now we're focusing on the speed and power. Like for me, I'm focusing I prepare mainly for speed, and because I don't have such power now, but I'm trying to build muscle. So maybe we are focusing. Maybe sometimes on the Monday or on the Tuesday we're focusing on power. On the Thursday it's like speed.
If you had to flex on us and give us the most impressive thing that you can do in the gym, what do you think it is?
Front squat.
Front squat?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Because I for my legs, I don't really like it. So but I know I need to do it. So I hate this exercise. So, but
but you're good at it.
Yeah, for kicking, I'm trying I really fast on kicking, and I know the front squat is really helping for kicking. So I know that I need to do it, and I'm doing the training.
Well, that's making me feel a lot better about the front squats I was doing yesterday. I'm no longer a 21.7 long course 50 freestyler, although I can still claim for a couple more weeks until you swim your next long course meet that I've been 21.73 to your 21.75. Oh man. Well, let's move on, and we're gonna focus on a few different topics here on the show today. And first, I want to talk about weekly workouts and just a highlight of the week. What have you done in the last week that stood out? One workout. Nikita, you go first. What's one workout that stood out for you from the past week, and what happened?
It was Tuesday. And I actually discovered deadlift because I never tried before, and it was really hard because I never do it, but I really like it. It's so good exercise for sprinters, actually, for power, and I think I need to try to do it maybe more way.
Was that a straight bar or a hex bar?
Yeah, straight bar.
Or like trap bar. Okay, cool. I really like those trap bar ones, but yeah, that's a good reminder. I need to hit some deadlifts today. All right, John, what did you have this week?
Yeah, I'm still on the super sprint program because I've been dealing with that vertigo still a little bit. And so what did I do? My main set this week, I had 625s with the destro. So some resisted swimming here. First two with 80 pounds. Second two with 120 pounds, last two with 160 pounds on 4 minutes a piece. So somewhat everyone in between. So that was mindset. And man, the 160 pounds wrecked me because that's like transition from 50 stroke to 100 stroke, right? So it took me like 27 seconds to do the 160 pounds. So it's just like never ending. So it's just like, yeah, and like Nikita, I'm not holding my breath for 27 seconds. That's for damn sure. So I'm breathing like every stroke.
I'm still so jealous that you got a setup that you can do power and explosive stuff. I still don't have that. I don't know when I'm going to be able to have that.
Get a shoot, man.
Enjoy it when you're in an environment when you have all the resources.
Someone get Brian a shoot and some socks already.
Exactly.
No way. Not after the set that Bryn gave us with the socks. That was
now you don't want to work on power. Come on.
All right. I'll work on it. I will do it. Let's get a sock sponsor around here. All right. Nikita, do you ever use those? The power, the drag socks? Are you guys using those?
No, I say not yet.
Well, you have something to look forward to.
Yep. Have fun.
All right, Luke, workout of the week.
Well, it's this week's been a bit different because I've been traveling. Normally, it's trying to figure out what John has been writing for me for doing in the weight room, because he writes like 5 lines of abbreviated doctor prescription notes for a weight exercise, and I have to interpret it. I have to figure out what a dragonfly is. I have to figure out what an RDL versus a BDL is, Romanian versus Bulgarian deadlifts. But because I was traveling in Spain this week, the memorable workout was getting only half an hour before work, running to the hotel gym and figuring out what this device was on the wall. And maybe Nikita can help me. It's when you go to Europe, they have all these wooden bars on the wall, like 20 wooden bars that come down. I think it's for stretching or what have you. But this particular wooden bar rack all the way down had these cables. I sent John a video, had these cables that came up and down and across, and you can adjust the tension of the handles on the cables to pull. And you should see me trying to figure out what the heck this was. I didn't know that if I had to push out, if I could pull down, if I could lift up, and I almost hurt myself. So yeah.
Was it a tonal?
No, it wasn't a tonal. No, it was like a vertical setup, right, Luke? The tension, like you could move the handles vertically here, but so I don't know. It just looked like a multi-use lifting unit, or like just a pulley system, like a multi-pulley system, but a very fancy looking one.
Oh, why are you holding out on me? I didn't see any of these pictures. How come
I wrote John
as your workout buddy?
I was like, John, what is this? I helped. So I just had, but at the end of the day, in a hotel room, if you have a couple benches and some dumbbells, you can get a good workout in 25 minutes. And that's what I did. So that was nice.
Nicely done, Luke. Okay, I'll give my workout of the week was unfortunately riding my bike 9 miles each way to watch my Atlanta Falcons get beat by Christian McCaffrey alone and 0 other San Francisco 49ers. If there was one guy they could take out of the game, maybe we would have had a chance. But it was kind of fun to ride the bike to the game and then, at least get it out, take out my sadness on the bike on the way home. So, and I didn't get hit by a car. So anytime I ride my bike and don't get hit by a car, that's a win. All right. Now let's transition into sprinting. What everybody's here to hear about. We want to talk to the man who is faster than anyone at his age in sprinting with this conversation just about like sets and important traits for sprinters, starting first with sets. So like Nikita, what is like 1 or 2 of your favorite sprint sets that you've done so far, or maybe even that you've discovered since you've been at Louisville?
I think my favorite set, it was before when I prepared for World Juniors, it was like 3 rounds, 25 100 pace out of block, 35 100 pace, and 50 100 pace. Yeah, in the swimsuit, like race suit.
Mm-hmm.
How much rest?
300 and 10 minutes.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Did you just do that a bunch? Is there anything else? What else did you do?
Actually, last week, in Saturday, we have set like 90 minutes in long course training. And after this, we're wearing a race suit and 575s out of blocks max speed. And the recovery 225 meters between.
Love it. Suited, max speed. That's good stuff.
Yeah. First, has the training changed a lot from when you were in Poland to Louisville?
It's really changes because we're training harder, we're training more, and we're looking for everything, like underwater turns, starts, and if I can maybe see as my training in Poland, this is really changes that what I can see.
Yeah, so for me, a sprint set that I have done, and this is when I was briefly coaching at Santa Clara, and we had a pretty decent sprint group here. It was I call it like the Survivor Man set. So it was like we had like 8 guys and gals, and it was pretty much you had your 25 best time, and you'd suit up for it, and you had an hour to go as many times or efforts at this pace or at your goal time, which is meant to be pretty close to your, max 25 time. So say it's, what do you say, 9.7, we'll say short course meters or something like that. So maybe we'll give you a couple tenths or so just for suits or race environment. And you get to go on the block as many times as you want in an hour. And the winner has done the most efforts making their goal time in that hour.
So there's a bit of strategy to it then, because you can't win the competition if you don't try more. But if you go too many in a short period of time and you miss them, then wow, interesting. Do you remember what the record was, or like who won it? How many?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't have that off the top of my head, but it was a fun way.
Sounds fun. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and I was trying to experiment with like, okay, let's get people to want to swim more, right? A lot of times workouts, it's like, oh, I don't want to do another round, or I don't want to do this, but it's like, hey, let's get people excited about swimming fast and trying to do more fast efforts, obviously near or at race pace or goal pace. So it has to be short, I think, or, it's going to be way off your pace. Say we're doing 50s off the block. I'm not having Nikita go 21.9 long course, 50s off the block at practice. Probably not going to get many of those. No offense.
When I used to coach and I used to coach sprinting, I used to explain that when you really are sprinting, it's different to swimming fast. I felt like sprinting had that feeling inside your body. It was like an electric shock. It was something like you just like so much more like to go. It was different than going all out. There was something inside of me. And there was a set that I used to love to do and give where it was very similar to Nikita's set. There's a couple rounds, maybe 1 or 2, but it was a 35, a 25, and a 15 off the blocks as fast as you can, but sprinting. But only do 35 meters if you felt that feeling and you held your technique together. Otherwise, shut it down. So if you got to 25 and you started to feel tired or off, shut it down and step away. Right? And then give yourself 5-6 minutes and go and do a 25 and see if you can get to 25 with that feeling, that technique, that power and on top of the water. Otherwise, shut it down beforehand. And then over the course of the weeks, you find yourself being able to get to the 35, feeling that feeling. So I like that. But also Brian did a set of me that I've been doing in my elderly ages, which I've enjoyed, which was like a 50 all-out kick with socks. Nikita, it's crazy. You just put a snorkel on, you just get your socks on, you're kicking as hard as you can with the socks for a 50. You rest for a bit, you take the socks off, and you blast the 25 kick. And then lots of rest, you put on the parachute, you do the same thing, a 50 all-out parachute, you rest for a bit, take the parachute off, and you blast it. And I just like the power and then the release into speed and feeling lighter afterwards. It gave me that power. So that's more of a training for power conversion to speed set I liked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're liking the resistance stuff. I think even though I hate a shoot, it's a necessary evil. You got to do it. All right. There's two sets to me that stand out when I think about like core to sprinting and sprinting well. One of them is more 100 set and one's just like pure power and sprint. The 100 set that I've always liked is a pretty classic one. 25 dive at your first 25 speed. So you get a time to the head, like a watch time to the head at 25 meters. So first 25 from a dive, and then you cruise 25 into the wall, rest 10 seconds, push 50 back end. And we probably do that like, 8 or 12 rounds, something like that. I mean, I'd be falling around by 12, but you could probably get to 8 if you could do it. And I think like, I don't know what kind of rest we would do them on. It's been a long time, but maybe we'd do them on like 3 or 4 minutes, something like that. So you get back to the wall, have like 2 minutes rest or so, hop out of the pool, shake it out a bit, and then, get behind the block to go do it again. So right. I always like that kind of longer rest sort of thing, sort of a simulated 100, but, being able to lock in that back end speed of 100 meters is hard to do. And, that's where I think, who are we talking to? Jack Alexi about this, which actually, Nikita, you asked a question that we asked on that show. was where he's talking about being able to push 23 seconds back in. And I'm like, shit, in my day we were pushing 24s, but now they're going 23s. That's cool. I felt pretty good if I was pushing 24. But anyway, so that's one. That's the 100 training set. And then for sprinting, which I would just say like 50 freestyle, I was a big fan of the transitioning the power from the gym into the pool. And so that's something we would do a lot is go straight from a lift where, you're blending both strength elements as well as explosive, like, dynamic jumps and stuff into the pool, where you're doing the same thing. And it's like all out, everything's all out. You don't get in and warm up or swim easy. There's 16 to 20 efforts, maybe 24 efforts at the max, but probably not above 20. And it starts with heavy resistance. Maybe you're using a chute or socks or wearing a t-shirt, and you're only sprinting for like 12 and a half yards, 15 yards, something like that. Not even a full 25. It's just all out, full blast. And then as you go through, take off, pieces of equipment or take off like the resistance and then add pieces of equipment. So maybe like take off the resistance, add paddles, add fins. And then by the end, as you're starting to fatigue some, you're able to keep the hips up high in the water. And really the focus there is just like intensity, racing, hand speed, and not worrying as much about like how much water are you holding, but it's about just like boom, 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 like go aggressive, get in and out of the wall, get off the wall. And honestly, those are fun. They're the most fun workouts. So don't have to swim for too long.
I'm excited to go and try some of these sets. And Nikita, what happens if you show up to practice tomorrow and you go, hey, Coach Arthur, here's a set I'd like to try. And you what would he say? How is your relationship with your coaching staff at Louisville? Is it like, can you give feedback and give suggestions from your experience, your expertise? Do you think it's fairly back and forth? Obviously, you're a freshman, they have years of experience, you're sort of adapting to there. But what's your relationship like with the coaching staff? Could you do that sort of feedback system to them?
I can do like feedback suggestions from my experience in Poland, from my technique in Poland. Sometimes it's like training, same like in the gym. So yeah, we have really good feedback with the coaches, the coach Arthur, and everyone is coaching staff.
I bet Arthur creates such a wonderful environment, for non-Americans that adjust really well to the environment of Louisville, but also he seems to be that figure where he welcomes you and sees you as not a peer, but a respectful. So yeah, I see the passion with Arthur. What is your group? Who are you training with? Who is the sprint coach at Louisville? Tell us a little bit more quickly about Louisville, because we're trying to figure out. We looked at the roster, but who are you training with? Who is your strength coach? Who is the sprint coach?
I think it's most sprinter coach is Nick Zord. He's really good at sprinting. He's really good coach of sprint. Like he do a lot of power for the sprint trainings, like sprint set. You really see everyone like what you need to maybe try, like underwater kicks, maybe count your stroke or like start reaction, start place, and everything what you need to get better.
Well, that's what you're there to do is get better. But I'm wondering if maybe you have some of these traits and also what you think some of the best sprinters in the world have that you're trying to get by thinking about like what are the like common traits amongst the elite sprinters, both today or in the past, and which of those do you think you have, and which ones do you are you still working on getting?
I'm trying to get better my underwater and the breath, because I'm trying to know bracing. Like on the 50 yards, I get only one breath, and I really like it because if I try to not get breath on the 50 yards, I get no breath on the 50 short course meters. And maybe the most popular thing what I need to do is like underwater and breast.
How much of that do you think is mental? So if you can go no breath short course meters and short course yards, but then long course you take 3 breaths. Do you think it's physical or do you think you need to do a bunch of underwater training to build the confidence that you can make it?
Yeah, I think it can be mentally because if you're nervous or if you're like really stressful, it can be like what I am doing. So yeah, it's gonna be mentioned, I think.
Yeah, just I'll add a caveat that I'm not necessarily like, a strong advocate for no breath the whole way. I mean, I swim a no breath 50 freestyle, but when I swim a 50 butterfly, I would take a breath. And my theory on that was I felt my hips got higher in the water when I took that breath in at 35 meters, 40 meters. And so I think it's dependent on, the athlete. If you're able to take a breath really fast and it doesn't slow you down at all, then, I don't think I have any, you can do whatever you want to do if it's just as fast. So what do you got, John?
Yeah, but you have to agree, 50 short course yards. You got to go no breath, and Nikita's going to no breath in that, right?
Short course yards, no breath. Yeah, I'm just talking about long course.
That's for sure. Just clarifying here. You're doing a 50 no breath short course at the end of the season. I guarantee that.
That's right. You got it. All right. Well, I want to ask the rest of the group too. John, what do you think are some of the common traits that you see amongst elite sprinters?
Yeah, I looked at things kind of out of the water because I think a lot of us have ideas for in the water, but the two that came to mind for me were just an elite attention to detail, being hyper fixated on technique in particular, but really trying to nail certain things. And I'll never forget some of the sprinters I've worked with just doing dives over and over, really honing in on that feel of when they hit that water and that transition into that first fly kick or that fly kick to the flutter kick to the breakout. So I've seen a lot of good sprinters that really can focus on one thing for hours and hours and hours trying to perfect it. And sometimes it's not even something that they can explain. It's more just, it's not feeling how I want it to feel. And I know how an elite transition or start or entry feels. So that's one thing. And the other one I'd say is just, and we see it in a lot of sports. I know Luke and Brian watch a lot more track and field than me, but I've been watching a little bit more, and we see it a lot with the sprint, 100-meter men and women, but we see it as well in the 50 in the pool. Just the confidence right behind the block. And you see this even with, the highest moments. They come out, some of them have bravado, some of them are quiet, but I do think the elite ones, they all have confidence that they are going to get their hands on the block first, or on the wall first, not on the block. I guess you could get on the block first too. That works as well. But they just have that extreme confidence that is there during those high pressure situations, like a World Juniors that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I agree with those. What do you got, Luke?
Yeah, John, you took two of my points for sure. It definitely the attention to detail and able to execute that detailed adjustments immediately and so precisely. Like your elbows are 2 degrees too up, come down a little bit. Okay, boom. How they can adjust those details so precisely, it's incredible. And controlling the emotions behind the block, spot on. And as I'm talking to 270 guests that we've had, what Flo did before the Paris final, how Usain Bolt is behind the blocks, how they control their emotions, keep their cortisol down, yet put game face on when the whistle blows. It's incredible and very, very difficult to do authentically. We all try to do it, but to be authentically, we talk about Jack Alexi, but it's comfortable, smiling before your race, so freaking hard. But one thing that Brian always mentions that I see a lot too is getting your hand on the wall. Nikita, you did it. Getting the hand on the wall, it's something that obviously maybe at the flags, they do something that they just know, okay, now's the time. Here we go. And there's something that they get their hand in a sprint, it's 0.02, but it's consistently Katie McEwen doing it. It's consistently Colin Jones doing it, Brian. You talk about it a lot. And I don't know how one is suddenly it's like, here we go, boom.
Yeah, Nikita, how do you do that?
I really like it, so I don't know.
See, that's the one. The great ones don't know how they do it. They just do it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, you're right. Cesar Cielo was the best example in my day of being able to do that. I felt like from 5 meters to the wall, he just knew how to adjust the number of strokes, the length of strokes, and also like a power for the last one to be able to get onto the wall. It's like the wall was a magnet.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Whereas me, like I might be like tying up and in between strokes, those last like 2 or 3 strokes, and somehow it's just like, the really good ones, Nathan Adrian, they can stay real long and get all the way onto the wall. I don't know. The attention to detail for sure. The thing that I'll add on the detail piece of like traits among elite sprinters is that, like you talk about the ability to notice small things and make those micro adjustments. For me, it's about like the patience to stay like in the grit that it takes to continue to like be always in pursuit of refining and making it slightly better and slightly better and slightly better, because throughout a season when you're trying to drop 1/10 of a second, or at Nikita, your pace, you're still at a phase of your life where you can drop a half a second in a 50 in one season. But the closer and closer you get to, the fastest that's ever done it is 20 point. Okay. So you're, 7/10 of a second away. You drop half a second next season. Great. I believe you can do it. After that, if you drop another half second, you're the greatest to ever do it. So my point is, like, you're starting to get into this phase of like smaller incremental gains, and the smaller those incremental gains are, I think the more patient you have to be with searching for where the improvement lies. And so that's one thing I think is like a component of that attention to detail, is recognizing that it's like really marginal gains that you have to be on the lookout for. And then the other thing I'll mention too is that I think sprinters just have great power to weight ratio. And Nikita, you're a great example of this. Is like, you're not a big bulky guy, and maybe you'll gain strength and mass as you continue to grow and mature and work in this new strength program that you're at Louisville. But you're an example of somebody who's not like, a big bulky athlete versus like, somebody like, Ben Proud is a bigger athlete, we've seen a lot of great examples of that in the past. Back to Alexander Popov, was not like a big bulky guy. Gary Hall earlier in his career was not a bulky guy. He was like, thinner. And there have been a lot of examples in between. I feel like we saw both sides of Vlad Morozov. Vlad Morozov was really good, as a 16, 17-year-old, really thin, and then he added mass later. So those are things that I think, like, your ability to maintain speed and power in the water, regardless of your build, is just something that's like always present with sprinters. So however you need to develop it, that's the way to do it. Okay. Anything else on sprint topics, guys? Great. Let's move on. All right. Enough about talking stuff in the pool. Let's talk about some things out of the pool. We want to get to know Nikita and what you're interested in. And this topic we'll say is just about what you pay attention to. It could be social media, it could be any type of media or things that you're just paying attention to. Who are like some top influencers? What are some things that you're enjoying lately, whether that's like accounts you follow or news outlets or shows that you're into or things you listen to? What are a few things that are just consuming your attention that you're interested in outside of the pool?
I think the first one is like social media, so like SwimSwam. I like to read new information about swim's history and swim sport, like about NCAA and everything else, like from world records, who beats them. Like, it's really important for me. I really like it. Mm-hmm. And maybe the second is like do my homework.
That's number 2?
Yeah.
I think your coaches would love to hear that. What homework has got all of your attention right now? What's the hardest class you're in this semester?
I have maybe it's between CIS 305 and CIS 205, and yeah, like business and computer science. So yeah, I really like this class, like CS 305. This computer science is, I really like the subject. So I really like to calculate like a math. So yeah, I think it's for me.
And number
yeah.
3 is social kick, obviously.
Yeah. Only two interests right now. Well, there's a lot to figure out. You know, new to college, and that's right. Your attention should be on the school. What about you, John? What are you into lately?
Yeah, baseball playoffs are in full swing, so I like to follow this YouTube account, Jumboy Media, where they do breakdowns of people, like, say, like weird interactions, say like a coach and an ump like yelling at each other, and he'll like or lip read what's going on and break it down and do great Zoom. So Jumboy Media during pretty much year round, but really during this time of year.
I like that guy too. Those are funny.
Yeah, he does a great breakdown of baseball stuff, but they do some other sports as well. But I think baseball is their main wheelhouse. Another one that I've been following, somehow on YouTube Shorts, I'm getting these like Australian dad joke accounts where it's just like people across from each other telling each other jokes and taking shots if they make the other one laugh. I don't know. It's very lighthearted, but I get sucked into those because I don't know. It's just simple, short humor. And then
the last one. Oh no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't let you go on that one without you sharing an example of of one from that account.
Oh, God, I'm bad at remembering dad
I'll
jokes
give you
like
one
that.
then, because I have one fresh in mind.
All right, yeah, take it, because the wording's so important, right? Yeah,
I know the account you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So they say, what is what's the difference between a refrigerator and a hot girl? The fridge doesn't fart when you pull the meat out. That's the only one I remember from that one.
There you go. So yeah, stuff like that.
We'll decide whether or not that stays near. Okay. All right, John. What's the third thing you're following?
And for those who don't know, I like a lot of rap and hip hop music. So there's an account called Dead End Hip Hop that I follow that does like album reviews or ranking different things. So keeps me up to date with some new music coming out. So those are the main ones I've been following recently.
And if you're ever wondering why we have so much hip hop music on our reels, that would be influenced by Dr. John Mullen. All right, Luke, what's on your radar right now?
I think right now the most recent stuff on social media is there are 2 accounts really. One is the AI page. It's just really interesting daily updates on what's going on in AI.
AI, the devil.
What is the AI
That's who you
page?
You follow the devil, Luke?
The AI page. It's just the latest in AI. Like, look what Higgsfield can do now. Look what Sora can do now. Look what this robot is doing across here. So every day they give you like insights on where the world is currently and where it's going. And it just keeps me abreast of the latest trends and where it's going. Because we don't realize it is moving so fast. So I enjoy being on top of that every day. The AI page, very simple. And the other one is stupid. The other one is a Jamaican guy called Dan Crooks. He has a site called Mr. Crooks. And basically he creates like people doing dumb shit on the internet. And he rates it on a scale of 1 to 10 if he would do it. And he calls it, me not do that. And he like, and then we like, see, he has his little face and he comments on like a guy being slingshot out into the sky, like miles, and then parachutes down. He's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is a 2,000. Me not do that at all. This is definitely a 2,000. Or guys walking across a bridge in the Grand Canyon with no harnesses. Scale of 1 to 10, this is a 25. And me not do that. And it's funny because he just like comments and he basically lets you all know what we are thinking when we see people doing this crazy shit. And it's funny. It's commentary.
Especially when it's said like a Jamaican would say. Me not do that. All right, I gotta see this guy.
How about you?
All right, yeah. No, so the 3 things, there's an account called Dad Advice from Bo. That gives like dad advice on how to build stuff. or how to like do home maintenance. So this week I found there's an example I was sharing with my sister about like how to drain your water heater once a year. But the cool thing about it is it's from an older man who is sharing all of advice on social media, and part of the account is charity to fund the medical costs for his daughter who had a traumatic brain injury. And so that was the whole reason why he started doing it was to share it. So like, you watch the account and they raise money, you follow it and that helps his cause. So I think that's really cool. And also the videos are just really well done. Lots of skills that you kind of need that, he's a great resource for it. Second is I'm always a fan of real life lore. They do these they're one of the highest volume accounts, many million. I don't know how many followers they have on YouTube, but they just like explain things about the world. It could be geopolitical stuff. It could be like how deep are the world's oceans? I think that's like one of the ones that I really liked from several years ago. So if I'm looking to learn, real life lore is one of my favorite accounts for learning. And then just about what's happening in the world. And then the last one, these are shorts that I'm really into, is this guy, Tom J. Stewart. And he does these fake press conferences, just a normal guy. And he likes golf. And so his reels his videos are of him as if he were being interviewed at a press conference, but he's giving an answer about like a normal guy. So like, Tom, what happened with your game, this week? And he's like, yeah, I just, I think I got a little over 4 beers and I got too extended. Normally like 3 to 4 beers is the sweet spot. And I had 5 today, and that's, that happens. And so I just think it's like this satire that I find really funny. So yeah, those are the things that are on my radar lately. But if leave us a note in the comments on what's on your radar and what you're liking, if you've seen any of the things that we got mentioned here, and we'll shout you out. So, and let's move on to our last topic for today, which is around the world, sharing stories about something that happened from your international travels. Nikita, you've traveled internationally quite a lot for your age. Curious, what are some things, like could be swimming related, could be not, just from traveling? What's like a core memory, a fun memory, or just, I don't know, anything that comes to mind for, having traveled for swimming so far in your young career and life?
It was a year ago. I will travel to Bahrain for World School Games, and we are going to pool, and first day we arrive. We don't swim because it was too late. So in the next morning, we are go to the pool, and they say like a pool is closed and will be open like in the next 2 days, and we don't know what to do. And in our hotel was pool like 12 meters, and we are swimming in this pool like for 1 kilometer, so 1.5.
It's one way to practice turns.
Yeah.
Swim in a 12-yard pool. I think, those are the worst training sessions in a hotel pool. I know that we did that once in college, where we got to a pool and the pool's closed, and then for whatever reason, we need to go swim in the hotel pool. Coach thinks it's a good idea, and then the hotel pool is like totally flooded because there's way more people that should be in the pool. Never fun. Way too hot. Hotel pools are way too hot.
So hot.
Yeah. What were we going to say, John?
No, I was just say, way too hot and so muggy in those hotel pools.
Oh yeah. Max chlorine breathing in through the air. Yeah. I would imagine training sets. That's not what they're meant for. Wild. What about you, John?
Yeah, well, with Nikita starting college, I remember one of my first travel college swim meet kind of pep talks from our legendary coach, Dan Ross, who coached for 30 some odd years at Purdue. And we were taking the bus up to Michigan, and I think it was like a Friday and then a Saturday dual meet. Friday was Michigan State, Saturday was Michigan. And I think last time we went up there, we lost to Michigan State. And Michigan State, who no longer has a swim program, unfortunately, was a bottom feeder of the Big Ten. And we're about to get off the bus, and coach is up, giving a talk. And like I said, this might be the first talk I ever heard him say to the team. And he's like, all right, guys, we're blah, 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 talking that then. He's like, and just so you know, this is your rectum. This is a Big Ten dual meet. sometimes it's going to hurt. And that was the talk. And we had the divers and the female divers on the bus with us. For some reason, they came up with us. And we were just I was just like in shock. Like, what is he talking about? And then we get off and everyone's cracking up and dying. And we had a great meet. So clearly it worked and it got the job done. But dual meets are going to hurt sometimes, Nikita. So enjoy that.
Yeah.
Anyway, quick follow-up. Could he get away with giving that talk today?
Absolutely not.
Probably not. But hey, are dual meets easy B, or do they hurt sometimes?
They hurt sometimes. They really do. Nose clips help, but they it's not as bad as they used to. Now they wear suits, John, so they don't hurt as bad.
Agreed. I don't think it's as bad, but yeah, they hurt.
Yeah. All right, Luke, what do you got?
I've been known to have a lot of stories, but I'll relate this one to Nikita. I was thinking, like, when I was 17 years old and I was at a big meet, how was I? And I remember the biggest meet at the time when I was 17 or 18 was a national trip at the Caribbean Championships. We went to the Bahamas, and all the national team got put up by the other national team's families. So, Brian, if you saw him for Bahamas, you would put me up because I came from Trinidad, right? And it just so happened that the 15 to 17 boys relay team, the four of us, got put up by a guy in the 15-17 relay's dad who was head of security at the Atlantis Hotel in the Bahamas. And he put us up in the hotel. And we all got hotel rooms and unsupervised with no chaperone, with a casino underneath, pool, beaches, and we were 17 years old and we meant to swim and we were unsupervised. And I remember having the best experience of my life and the worst meet of my life. Because and I was thinking, like, how much Nikita must have been to go to Romania and do all that time, and how professional he was. And I was at the other end of the spectrum when I was 17 years old. So,
man, wild. Well, I'll finish off this swim stories with one that you guys know from Trinidad and Tobago. My first time there, I went training with our teammate George Bavell. He invited me to come and do a training camp, and we were there for a few weeks and traveling around, swimming in a pool that Luke swam in many times. And we decided to do some breath holding competition. And I don't know about you, Nikita. It sounds like you're trying to get better at underwaters and holding your breath, but hate to put this into your brain, but there is a limit to it. So we were starting off with like 25s and then 50s in a long course pool. And then it was choice of equipment, 100 meters, and we were trying to go the whole distance, no breath. And I was actually pretty good at holding my breath. Like when I was in college, I was arguably the best on the team at holding my breath. Like maybe when George was around, he and I were really competitive, but by the time George graduated and moved on, I was probably the best on the team at holding my breath. I remember being able to win team competitions in breath holding. So that was a skill that I had, but we tried this 100 meters. And like John was talking about earlier, when you're doing that set with the, like, how many times can you go your goal race pace or your goal time within an hour, there's some strategy to it. And if you're trying to do 100 meters, no breath, there's some strategy to like how fast, how much effort should I put in versus like, if I go really easy, I'll exert less, but it'll take longer. And unfortunately, I think that was my downfall because I went out way too slow. And then I flip turned, I came back and I was at 90 meters or so. And then I don't know what happened. I blacked out. And so I get to, apparently what I did was I actually finished from 90 meters to 100 meters, touched the wall. And then I came up, I took a big breath, and then I just faded. The next thing that I remember is waking up in the arms of my buddy Joe, and he was holding me, standing there on the edge of the pool like a baby. I mean, It was like you're on the wall and you're just in your friend's arms, Nikita. And he's holding me, and I'm looking up at his face like, hey, Joe.
What am I doing here? Why are you holding me? Because you have no idea.
And he just grabbed me because I had passed out and then went limp into the water. and he grabbed me and pulled me up. I don't know how long I was passed out. I don't think it was long, but that was the only time, and hopefully the last time, that I've actually had a shallow water blackout from pushing it slightly too far in breath holding. And I blame it on Trinidad. I think it's Trinidad's fault. It was the hot water in the Caribbean. That's why I don't go there anymore. So
Too many doubles. It just adds up.
too many doubles. Yeah, doubles of food, by the way. Yeah, yeah. So we'll end it on that one. Let's end with some rapid fire then, shall we?
Nice.
Nikita, what's the hardest race in swimming?
I think it's 200 butterfly.
It's pretty hard.
Olympic gold or world record?
I think distance. I swim butterfly. It's so hard.
Yeah, but if you had to choose between winning an Olympic gold medal or breaking a world record, which one would you choose?
I think winning an Olympic medal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's my goal of my life. So yeah, I will choose it.
All right. What time in the 50 freestyle will it take to win NCAAs this year?
It's like maybe 18, maybe, or 18.1 or 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
18, 1 or 2? Okay. Yeah. What's the hardest set that you've ever done?
It was actually last Saturday.
What was it?
It was 3 hours training, like 90 minutes long course, and we changed pool from short and 575, so I block full speed in race suit.
575s full speed?
Yeah, race suit.
Okay. What were they on?
It's like between these rounds, like 225 meters, like rest, and after this we go to the blocks.
Okay, so you basically swim the 75 and then you go 225, however long that takes, probably a few minutes, and then hop up, do it again. Yeah. Max lactate. Do you guys take lactate readings?
No, not me, but the distance and like maybe guys who swim 200 are taking it. Yeah.
Okay.
What were you going on the 75s?
31. Yeah, maybe 31.5, 31.6.
Nice.
There you go. Pretty good. Yeah, that's your goal time for today, John.
For a 50? Can do.
All right. What's a dream sponsor? If you could have any sponsor in the world, what would you get?
I think I usually use Arena, so yeah, I think this Arena is good for me.
Hey, I think that one's pretty achievable. Shout out Arena. Let's get this guy let's get him a contract, shall we? Let's do it. Yeah. All right. If you had one piece of swimming equipment, you could only have one, and all the rest of your equipment has to go away. What's your one go-to piece of equipment that you're keeping?
Fins.
Fins?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the most annoying thing that a teammate or a coach can do?
Be late.
Be late? Okay. How early do you show up to the pool?
20, 15 minutes before for scratching warm up. Yeah.
Okay. Do you do the same thing for your school classes?
Yeah, we actually I was only one person who for training like 15 minutes before stretching.
Right on. All right, and then the last one for Louisville. How often are you doing social kick there?
Like in warm down, sometimes, but I want to prefer to swim because for me, it's regeneration. Like it's swim, but no social kick. Like
Come on, dude, you're killing me. We got to have some social kick in those practices.
You gotta loosen your legs up.
Yeah.
Come on. And your
You're a
brain.
sprinter. Jeez.
Yeah, you got to learn how to taper. I actually
You
did
gotta swim in the D
mention that
group.
earlier.
God.
Yeah. I thought about putting one of those skills down. We were talking about sprinting traits. What's like sprinters are really good at embracing taper too.
Yep.
So
Oh, yes.
you gotta embrace some social kick when it's taper time in March. You know, that's I think what's coming.
yeah,
up.
I will try today. So
Yeah.
Good.
Well, give us Nikita as we head out. What's like what does the season look like for you guys? Are you doing a shave meet or a rest meet in the fall? What are the key focuses this season for you as you attack the short course yards pool at Louisville?
yeah, for me, it's European Championships in Poland in December. And like I will focus to the world junior record, like 20.98, 99. Yeah, and I will really prefer for this competition.
Hell yeah, awesome. We'll get through that one thing on the horizon for now, and then you come back and focus on NCAAs.
Yeah,
That'll be sick. Hell yeah. All right, man. Well, we're so big fans of you. It was so fun to get a chance to chat with you and build a connection. We're excited to see what you do in the pool coming forward. So thanks for spending some time, and you're welcome back anytime, bud.
yeah. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
All right, gang. That's it for this episode of Social Kick. We'll see you next time.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Goodbye.